Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome from a very wet, windy and miserable Melbourne here at the moment. Bloody freezing. Hope you guys are doing well. Without further ado, guys, as always, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around this wide world. Hope you're all having a good start to your day, or good day, or wherever you are, again, depending on the time of day. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another London session. Obviously, it's been some very interesting times throughout the last few weeks, and gold looking like it's made a bit of a pullback after what was a big sell-off to begin the week. And we'll obviously have a look into gold. We'll have a look at GJ as well, my secondary pair, and any other pairs as per request. Guys, let's quickly have a look at the news. Anything scheduled in regards to scheduled news for our session here today? Nothing in regards to our session. There's nothing at all really, but obviously anything could break at any point in time. Also had the Aussie reporting today, CPI. What a crock of shit that is. Supposedly it's down, which is an absolute crock of shit. That is not true at all. It's definitely up. Made up. They are made up numbers. CPI, it's just made up. They have no idea. Fed chair speaking later today into MY, a couple of hours into the MY session, so that will be interesting as well. If I'm not mistaken, we still have the G7 summit going on at the same time, so expect things to possibly come out of that as well. With obviously Trump could at any point come out with any sort of comment and markets could move. But anyway, guys, let's get cracking. Without further ado, you guys know the drill. Smash the like button, YouTube, TikTok, hit that screen for me, and let's have a good session, guys. If you have any charts or any questions or anything you'd like me to look at, feel free to pop that into the chat and I'll get to you guys shortly. But without further ado, let's have a look at the gold. And starting the weekly time frame, what we can see is obviously still forming quite a strong bearish candle. Got the lower high, lower low. So the previous bearish candle not quite tapped into the level I mentioned we could possibly pull back to just yet, that 30 to 90 sort of region. Almost did, but not quite. So off the back of that, the weekly to me looks like either we could be looking for pullbacks within it for price to form yet again another resistance to head back in line with the strength of the current weekly and the candle probabilities. But we'll see what sort of other things that might suggest otherwise shortly, once we go down to the minor time frames, that being more so to 30, even the 15, to see what sort of options we may have to the upside. Onto the daily time frame and daily. So it's closed back a strong bearish candle, but we have tapped into a strong level of support here, so potential reversal point on the daily time frame. Current candle, not a great deal of volume. What we're going to do is mark in the high and low of it. We're going to see what we got either side of that candle. We are an inside bar candle at support in what is still, in the way I see it, still an uptrend on the daily time frame. However, we do have that previous daily closing bearish, so if we were to look for sell options, we could use the actual daily candle closure to add confluence to any sort of sell option, seeing it was a very strong bearish candle, and seeing the weekly is also forming quite a strong bearish candle. Onto the 4-hour time frame here, and once again what we can see is we've bounced off this high time frame support, which is the daily, also a 4-hour level here, but we have actually flipped the structure bearish on the closure below this swing point here. We have confirmed the structure flip, so the 4-hour currently pulling back, but could we pretend we're about to close this 4-hour candle, we're about to close it bearish, could we be exhausting here to the upside in order to move in line with the strength of the current weekly candle? So we're just going to mark in some levels here. We're going to mark in the low, the most recent support, which is at the daily that previous daily candle's low. As far as resistance, we'll wait to see what we got here on the 30-minute time frame. Now onto the M30. All right, so what we can see is, so as far as a minor time frame catalyst, we do kind of have it here. We've got the 30-minute structure having flipped bullish. So off the back of that and 4-hour candle probabilities, this could be just a bit of a pause within price action. We do have a lower high, lower low, sorry, a higher high, higher low to the previous candle. It's just a weak pause, so the back of that, if price was to begin to pop above the current daily candles high, that could be enough to look for some buy options off the back of that. So we're just gonna change that to blue. It's a minor zone, and I'll be definitely looking for buy options above that point there. We do also have some clean traffic to the left hand side of that level. Now what I'm also going to do is mark in this level just here, and that is because at that point the closure below will flip the structure back bearish on the 30-minute time frame. So let's just quickly have a look though at the 15-minute before we look at our any other option. All right, so what we've got here is, in my opinion, what I will be likely looking for moving forward is one of two things for the upside anyway. I'm going to be waiting for price to either pull back to the support here around at 33.26 to 33.24, and once again form support above that zone or within that zone in line with the structure on the minor time frames to look for a potential buy from support. So that will be something like so on the pullback, and wait for a price action catalyst, look for a buy, or I'll obviously be looking for some continuation buys above the current daily candles high, in line with 30-minute structure, in line with the 15-minute structure, in line with the 4-hour counter probabilities as well. That to me looks like some pretty good options for the buys. Now as for the sells, well, again, we are still within the weekly candle, forming quite a strong bearish candle. Better that have that previous daily also closing a strong bearish candle. So off the back of that, are we just pulling back to grab a little bit more liquidity from the upside in order to make another move back down? So look, if we were to pop back up towards the daily high, even if we were to break it and perhaps close back below, back of that, I may consider some sell options using the strength of the weekly candle more so than anything else. If I was to consider that sell, I mean, aside from that, we may have some options below 32.34, but likely not going to have the margin down to what we have this minor support 32.33. So really, it's best to wait for price to pop below 33.20, 21, that sort of region. It is a lot cleaner below that point there, and we do have more margin to look for sell options below that point. So that is my current plan moving forward here today on the gold. No entries just now. 30's closing still relatively strong bullish. The 15's closing bearish. Don't have a 5-minute support or anything, so yeah, no entries just now for gold. That is my opinion of it. Now let's quickly have a look and turn our attention to GJ before I get to you guys in the chat. Still looks very, very messy. Actually had a chart marked in for NY yesterday for my members, and it was respecting the exact same levels as what I had marked in yesterday, but we'll go through it. And looking at the weekly, and we are now again pushing bullish, approaching the current weekly candle high. We do have a high low, high high to the previous candle. The back of that I would favor the buys. On the daily, structure is also technically bullish, and we do have a pause candle potentially. If price was to begin to break it, there is a good chance it will continue to the upside. So let's just mark in that previous daily candles high, and let's move on to the 4-hour. So it's also bullish on the 4-hour here. GJ in a pretty strong uptrend at the moment. Just gonna mark in that level to begin here on the 4-hour. We're also gonna mark in the resistance we're currently at and tapping into, which is at the previous daily candle high. We're also marking a level just above it as well, and we'll make our way down to the 30-minute time frame. That to me is also technically bullish. Nothing's changed at all, still the same levels as yesterday. But whilst we're just consolidating, guys, for me on GJ to the upside, there is no margin. You're tapping into some very strong resistance here to the left. So for me, I mean, is there enough margin above this point? Let's just measure that. Not quite by the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just going to remove that zone because I'm not necessarily going to be taking buys above it. Very choppy to the left. So if I was to consider anything, has to push up. If it is to just reject quickly, pull back, create a higher low, form support above previous resistance, then I might consider a buy. Otherwise, what I'm going to be waiting for on GJ today is price to either pull back down to support, respect it, the 4-hour level for a buy option, or if we begin to pop below it, then not flipping any structure, but we're breaking a very strong level of support. So if we do begin to pop below it and actually close below, pull back to tap back into it, they'll be looking for the sells off the back of that. It's pretty much the exact same analysis as yesterday here on GJ, for those who do remember, pretty much at the exact same spot as yesterday. So that is my opinion of it. I likely won't be looking at it all that much, and the focus will be, as per usual, on gold. Alrighty, team. Let's see if we have a little pause here on a 15, a weak bullish support forming at this previous resistance that potentially could provide a entry to the downside. In the meantime, TikTok, g'day to the 54 of you currently on stream, and thank you to the 6 new followers. Don't forget to smash that screen for me, guys. Let's get the masses onto one of the most winning streams on social media. Win rate is fantastic, guys. Might not take a million trades, but we take very high probability trades. Tony Gold, g'day to you. Franco, Carl, man, appreciate you guys. TikTok, let me sift through the chat and see what I have missed. DS Nivek, good evening to you. Welcome. High sell day for me for gold. Okay. Looks like it might be coming down just now. I don't have a strong enough confirmation. Don't even have 5-minute support just yet. Lau is still expecting bearish movement. No expectations. I'm just reacting to what I see. That's plain and simply what I'm doing. I've got an opinion and plans for both the buys and the sells. I'm just waiting to see what and if anything presents. Mark, more into you. You're in a long position, 3301. Okay, nice one. You're well in profit. Stop loss currently 290 pips. Well done, good work. Bjorn, good morning from Norway. Good morning to you, my friend. Good evening from Oz. Gold just melting now. That's all right. Again, nothing for me, so I'm just chilling. Shahid, GU, please. And I still buy it, and nothing at the minute. GU, okay. GU, so that's the chart from yesterday. Let's just remove the drawings. So obviously, very, very strong bullish handle on the current weekly. We are pretty much engulfing the high of the previous. Also, liquidity candle broke low and is now broken high. In my opinion, there's a high probability we will continue to push to the upside. On the daily, we can see strong bullish closure. Not a great deal of volume within the current daily candle low. So what we're going to do is mark in the current daily candle's low, seeing it is at resistance, and we'll see if there is any sort of price action or any catalyst at that point to potentially look for a sell from resistance. 4 hour, we can see it's just consolidating. It's consolidating above the resistance here, within the wicks, within the zone, but above the bodies. So as long as we remain above it, begin to break above the actual highest point, then I feel there is a good chance again we could continue bullish. Let's just zoom it in here. That's the most recent support, and that's the most recent resistance on the 4 hour. We are in fact very bullish on the 30 as well. Let's have a look at that, and that is also bullish. So my bias would be to the upside. However, we are at a very strong level of resistance, so it's not going to be easy to buy it into that level. I think I had that level marked in yesterday as well. Just adjust a little bit. So my plan for GU would be to wait for a closure above 136.390 roughly. Price was to close above that, you're into some pretty clean traffic. I'm not concerned by that bullish candle wick. It's not a bullish, it's a bullish candle as well on the 4 hour, so I'm only concerned by that highest point of any bearish candles at resistance. So look for potential buys above 136,390. And if we did pull back, only to respect support at 136,150. Could also potentially look for a buy. And aside from that, if we begin to pop below the support formed at the current daily candles low, that to me will be enough of a catalyst. Seeing we are at a very strong resistance, to take a counter trend entry, but just be strict with it and preference the closure below the retest, and then you may have a valid counter trend sell on GU. That is my opinion of it. Waiting patiently on gold, not falling for anything that's not within my rules, and looks like it's popping back up. So happy not to have jumped in off the back for just the 15-minute candle. Which platform you trade on? The execute trades, MetaTrader 5, but to mark up charts, TradingView. So move will look up to 33.40. It could do anything. If it breaks above 33.35 and we close above it, now I feel there is a high probability that it will. Shadow Flame 3, what trade is this? Well, there is no actual active trade at the minute, but looking at gold. So the cap profile picture NQ. IO NQ, is that Nasdaq minis? Is that what you're talking about? I have no idea what IO is. Assume it is. Looks to be very bullish. I hate these gaps. I really don't like charting when you got these big gaps. To me, it's very difficult. I'll try my best. I mean, I'll use that as resistance. For our structure, I will call that bullish. So it's at the resistance though. You got potentially low high, low low after rejecting resistance on the previous 4 hours. So that would probably make me prefer to look for a sell. You filled the gap at the daily open by the looks of things. Well, it's not open yet, obviously. Sorry, take that back. For me, I'd be waiting for a closure below that support around session open. For some sells. Oops. And look for buys from lower down. That's it. It's an ugly chart. I don't like looking at things with big market gaps. It's just very difficult in my opinion. Gold a bit all over the shop at the minute. Got some 5-minute support here. Yeah, I still don't have a quality entry at the minute, so I just need to wait. Members, let me invite you guys. Apologies. Franco GU, yep. So we've basically got the exact same thing. Very similar. Just this zone's a little bit different to the upside. But otherwise, the exact same. Alright. Gold making a bit of a move. Not a lot of wick enough 5. Difficult to trust. But we'll see. I've got to be off today, guys, by about 10 to 6 my time. So about 2 minutes before the closure of the hourly session open. All right, 5 minutes doing its thing at the minute. All good.
Hey, good morning, man.
How are you, mate? How's it going?
Hey, yeah, getting better.
That's good.
So-
Good to hear.
And you?
Yeah, all good. All good. Just freezing. Really,
Freezing? Oh,
really cold day. Yeah.
we will have today a hot day, 35 degrees here.
Lucky for you. It's
Yeah.
I think 11 today or something, but it feels like about 5. It's just wind and rain and it's freezing. Pretty much as cold as it gets.
You need to go. You need to come to Germany then.
Yeah, need to skip Melbourne during the winter. Shithole in the winter. But yeah, I saw your GU chart. Looks very similar to what I've got marked in.
Yeah. So maybe I see also chance. Maybe some if we are achieving the resistance, maybe to get also some sales from that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, it's just stuck in a bit of a range. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, so this is a very big resistance. I think it's from February 2022, so a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't think I've got. Oh yeah, I do have that. Yep.
maybe it should take some time or maybe some effort
Yeah.
to go through this.
Yeah, it could take a while to burst through it. We'll have to wait and see.
I was also looking for some gold cells, but at the end we didn't have on the M30 no resistance create.
Yeah, the M5 also wouldn't have given enough just then. I'd be out break even if I took it off for 5 minutes by the looks of it. But we'll see. We'll now probably need to wait for the 30 minutes, see if it closes bearish engulfing, and see if we can somehow work our way in with a decent stop loss with enough margin also to the downside. That'd be the next concern, the margin and stop loss. But we'll see.
Was this also for you on the M50 not to take the sell because we didn't have a resistance on the M30?
There was not much else going on within it. I mean, the 5 minute, that was the closure just there.
Yeah.
So there was no support formed or anything.
But you will take so beside of that, so you're not that much focused on the M30 as an additional.
In this situation, yeah, it would be, but otherwise I would consider the 15.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the Monday's education video was about this sort of situation.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when it's range bound, yeah, I still would prefer to see a 30. But there are ways we can perhaps use the 5 minute, but when it's trending, I think the 5 minute, there's definitely ways we can use just the 15 and 5 minute. It's going to involve if it's trending and it just makes a bit of a pullback. For instance, maybe here, or after you've had a nice impulse down, pull back, another impulse. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So guys, so we had a look at GU, EU, probably very similar. Yeah, weekly is very strong bullish. EU is the strongest of all the majors at the minute. Pulling back below some, or at the resistance here. Very similar GU. We're hovering above the bodies, but still within the actual zone itself. Just marking the actual highest point. Form support just below it, so that's good because that provides a good entry point to the downside. And not only that, your catalyst will be a structure flip, so I'll probably just drag that down to a bit cleaner below 115,700. So I'd definitely be looking for some sells from below that point there. And if price was to come back down and tap into the 4-hour support, I'd be looking for some buys to take it back up. I mean, you could just adjust that. You may even get some sells from counter trend sells. This is the exact same as GU. So I'd be looking for counter trend sells below 116.04 roughly. Support formed at the current daily candles low by the looks of things. Yep. So price, seeing we have formed support that point there, if we were to continue bullish within the current daily, we don't necessarily need to break that support. So if we begin to break it, then I feel it'd be a good chance we could make a deeper pullback towards the 4-hour zone, and that would be enough for me to trust a sell below it. And I would probably consider the buys also above it if it does pull back up, only to respect it at 116.05 sort of level. $2, yep, so that's GU and EU. Mark, UK buying 12. Oh, yep, sorry, I thought it was, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, well, that's another thing. I mean, you've got some of these major Western countries now really stocking up on, you know, military items, aircrafts, missiles, arsenal, all that type of stuff. I mean, it's quite obvious what it could be leading to. It's sad. You've also got Japan testing weapons. Tony Gold, all good, mate. Appreciate it. So it is some, I mean, some worrying times, that's for sure. Definitely not some good times when you've got countries, you know, so concerned by their military power, or having to be at the point where they're so concerned by it. Yeah, I think even here in Australia, we've got a lot more, I think, ships around certain areas, certain waters, trying to protect the coast. Yeah, it's going crazy, guys. It's to me, it's like telling us a story of what is bound to happen. KXNG, Sean, thank you for sharing a live. Max trading queue looks nice for continuation in queue. Yeah, it does. This thing at all-time highs. It definitely is. Wow. How about, it's always NAS. This is crazy. I'm not at all sure why there is so much enthusiasm in the equities at the minute. To me, I mean, it makes no sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. I just don't get it. I'm not going near any equities at the minute. So we'll see here on gold, if we close now a weak bearish candle on the M15, we've finally got that minus support. We'll also be closing a 30. Very strong bearish candle. We may have a potential sell option. It looks like we still got the margin to the downside as well. Not a great deal, actually. It looks a lot more than what I thought it was. Than what it is, I mean. But we'll see if we close similar to what we are, or how we're forming just now, then I may be looking for a sell and breaking this candle's low on the following candle. Omar, yeah, so in the middle of the range just now, again, it all depends on the 30-minute closure and the 15 here. we close similar to where we are just now, let's just mark that in. Well, let's just hold on. So around that point there, that's going to close the 30, almost bearish engulfing. That would be enough for me to look for some sells. Can use the fib, but it's going to be a little bit sketchy in this situation because we've already got long lower wick, long upper wick. Yeah, I mean, the preference would be for it to close below the 50. So below the 0.382 is in this situation a preference, but if that's the case, it's going to close back a weak bearish candle. So I've got no support that would be breaking. Still could be val though based off the 30-minute. We'll wait and see. Ultra 1921, buy gold at 33.29. I mean, if that's your plan, I'm not sure why you've got that figure. I may lean more to the sell side as well. Yeah, it just depends because if we do pop back down to 33, 27, 26, 25, that's when I'll start to look for some, if I can get involved in some buys moving forward. Let's mark in a lot of that bullish M30 as well. I want long sweep resistance for look for sells. So the actual daily high. Okay, that's fair enough. Funny, I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but be very careful. Why can't you delete comments on TikTok? You can do it on YouTube. All right, what is the low on my broker's chart here? $33.29.29. 33 spreads are quite normal today. 33.29.09 roughly. Stop losses aren't big as well on gold at the moment, so it looks like maybe the volume is just chilling for a bit. It's settling down. It's been very volatile few weeks, obviously. As soon as they say it starts to pump. Tiny, okay, no problem. Apologies for maybe thinking the wrong way of it. All good. I mean, this is fine too, because even if it does close back relatively strong, it still gives us an entry point to the downside. We just need to wait for a closure below. Neo, good day to you. $2, UJ. In a big strong downtrend, that's for sure. So bit of strength in the yen, also weakness in US dollar. Weekly, obviously forming quite strong bearish, but does have lower, higher lows to the previous, respecting the wicks to the left hand side. Daily, nice reversal on the previous daily candle after that long wick rejection to the upside to begin the week. Let's just mark in the low of that previous day's candle. Now onto the 4-hour structures, flipped bearish on this particular time frame, but bouncing at some very strong support, so it's likely not going to be continuation sells, but there could be potential buys. We've got potentially, well, we've broken the resistance here at support. You need to wait for some closures though. Issue is it's not the cleanest to the left. You're respecting 30-minute structure here as well. I don't see all that much on it, to be honest. What I'd rather see, if it was to the upside, a nice clean move to cut through the wicks to the left, the resistance levels to the left, pull back, form support for a buy. Look, if you're looking for an early entry and you're happy to ride the risk, knowing that you got some minor support just below the current level, this candle closed weak bullish. There could potentially be an early entry on the rejection of the last significant lower high here on a 30. They're back down towards the daily low, but otherwise I really don't see any clean opportunities here on UJ. Much better below 144.335, which is their distance away for the time being. All right, still could be on here on gold. All right, so let's now use the fib again. 0.382 is just here. So I want it to close below that point minimum, because that would be a strong enough closure on the 30 as well. And it'll also give us a weak 15-minute support. So if price create enough wick and begun to break the weak supports low, there could be entries off the back of that. So we really want to close below. Simple rule to follow. It makes it a yes or no for as a valid entry or not. Nothing in between. Has to close below either of these two lines here. One will give us that weak pause, weak support. The other will give us a bearish engulfing M30, which is also a catalyst within itself. Anything other than that, there is no entry. All right, 1 minute left, guys. Let's see where this candle closes. Kim's out. Is your TradingView connected to your MT5? Struggle to get entry in on my phone on time. Any tips? Yeah, I would not use the phone to execute it. It's a nightmare. No, they're not connected. I don't trade through TradingView because I like to use an EA toolkit to manage my trades, especially as a scalper. You guys see how beneficial it can be. I also watch the stream on a regular, so I use this bit of kit and that manages my trade for me through MT5. Makes it a lot quicker as opposed to manually having to do it all. So, oh, close, but not quite. We're not valid. Did reject towards the end. Let's just make sure 100% that it's not valid. It's not below 0.382. It's not as, it's below to 50. Yeah, to me, it's not a strong enough closure on a 30. So I'm just waiting. See if we have a 15-minute closure below. Either way, irrespective, if it breaks now, there's no way I would take it because it's got no upper wick. Just a man following the plan. That's how I roll. JJ trying to make a clean move up. That's all right. Better. Now the buys could come into play if we do pull back. Nice little pause here, interruption, but you've tapped into a target, so there is no valid entry off the back of the interruption play. So just need to wait on JJ. Looks better for sells too though now, because he forms support back below previous resistance. So what I'd be doing it just now is dragging that across. If we start to close below that point there could be options to sell JJ moving forward. Doesn't need to tap into the 4-hour resistance, in my opinion. Would be nice, but doesn't need to, because we're tapping into another level here. So if it begun to reject, we've begun to pop below this 197.550 sort of region, that could open up some sell possibilities. Crispy Honeybee, thank you. Yeah, I've kind of updated a little bit today. I'm not too sure which one to roll with. It's the same thing, but there's just a little thing added to it. But expect more, guys. I'm gonna change some of the other branding around it. Obviously the start of the stream on YouTube, the starting screen and ending screen is going to be different. It's going to be changed. We'll have obviously a new logo and all that incorporated. At the moment, still using the old one. We'll eventually change the actual layout itself as well. On YouTube, on TikTok, it's a pretty simple one, but it works, so that's the main thing. All right, we chill, guys. Don't stress it. Feel free to ask questions. We got a trade yesterday. Waiting patiently. Had a nice win on the stream, so that's what we're gonna do. Just chill. Not a fan of this cold weather. Shits me, I can't. Really not a fan of it. It's a struggle. BenQ playing ping pong with itself. Quackers train. Between the resistance and support, there's not much going on. Waiting for something to come out of Trump's mouth again. They dropped the F-bomb yesterday. I suppose it's such a common word these days that it's not that offensive. Got my hands on here. I'm freezing. Omar buys if strong green candle closure above 33, 35.3. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Clean traffic above that point there. That's where I've got buys above this zone here, which is that level. So yeah, I like that. And I would potentially consider buys from support as well though. Let's see if gold rejects here. We've got just under 10 minutes remaining. We've pulled back to create the upper wick. The next simple rule, if we were to look for sells, is price needs to close below. It cannot close too far below because then you just don't have the margin. See it as data prints, how I reassess and then come up with a new plan. Omar? Okay, yeah, all good. I don't trade fair value ups, but if you use it to add confidence to your entries, by all means. Focus trading? I think you're asking Omar. I have no idea. I don't trade fair value apps. Not asking the right guy if you're asking me. Mark, you thought the same? Did say the hourly. Assuming here. Again, for me, it's of no concern because I don't trade fair value apps either way. So. It's a pillow. King's Slaughter. Will London session move differently? Sounds like maybe you're coming from training a different session usually, or what do I expect it to do? I mean, London will likely bring in a volume, but doesn't always mean it's gonna create a sustained move, because sometimes it's just gonna consolidate. Sometimes you're gonna have those sessions when it doesn't do all that much. So no one knows. Again, we just need to react to our plan. Mark, there is a large FG on the 4 hour though. Needs filling. 33, 57, 67. All right. London moves for half an hour and then dies until US. Because we TPs on yours. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep, fingers crossed. Wish you luck. Trying to come down here, so we got to wait just over 5 minutes now. Just over 5.5 minutes. Extra, you're not convinced it'll drop. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna trade my plan if it presents, and if it doesn't, I'm not convinced as well. So yeah, it's just rule-based trading. Oh, that's cool. Emma, just join. What time frame are you on? M15 at the minute. Wait and see if we have a bearish engulfing 15-minute candle closure here, and that could be enough for a sell. Otherwise, just waiting. I don't see any good buy options at the minute from the current area. Gee, you got some minor support below the 4-hour resistance that could potentially provide an entry point, but there isn't much margin there. That's the issue. He's just consolidating. Alright, so in a minute I'm popping back up, so there is no confirmation still just yet. Looks like we could be closing strong bullish. So if that's the case, then it's going to be a wait and see for London Open. Use a London session sell for 32.90. Yeah, again, I don't have any confirmation to sell it right now. I need some wait. If that's your plan, then good luck. Alright, so it looks like it's definitely not going to be valid. Looks like we're going to close a very strong bullish candle. For me, there is no buys though, because you're buying it in amongst a bit of a mess, to be honest. There is nothing to the upside. You're buying it at most recent minor resistance. So for me, there is no buy, irrespective of the strength of the current candle. And just to wait and see. All good. Chill, we wait patiently, and we know what happens if we do so and follow the plan. It's a good chance it'll be a nice winning trade. Alright, so it's closed strong bullish with no upper wick. Let's see how this candle forms. There is a pretty good chance it's going to end up rejecting, seeing it's got no upper wick on the previous. A lot of the time, candles that close like so, followed by candles which close in the opposite direction. Not always, depending on how the actual candle itself spent the most part of it. So, for instance, here it's got a long low wick. Would have closed up near its height right at the end. Obviously, would have pushed towards the end of the candle, and leftover volume pushes it straight up in this case. Whereas you've got here and here pretty much the opposite. So you've got the candle closing with no upper wick, next candle rejects, closes back bearish, end up back down. This candle closes bearish with no low wick. Look what happened next. Next candle creates a bit of low wick, and we end up strong bullish. So a lot of the time, that's what will happen when you have candles that don't close with wicks in the direction of the closure. So that's why I would never take the trade off the back of that. And so far we are rejecting. So no buys for me. No name. G'day to you, mate. Hope you're well. Welcome. Good to see you on the stream. All good, mate. All good here. Just freezing, but otherwise all good. Funny is seeing Trump swearing on live TV. Did he actually? Was it actually on live TV? What a legend. Obviously they leaped it out though. It was? Okay. Trump does what he wants. Yeah, he definitely does what he wants. He couldn't give a crap, to be honest. Oh, they couldn't censor in time. Alright. To be honest, I was having a bit of a giggle when I was reading it this morning. Some of the news here from Financial Juice. You need to calm down. Do not drop those bombs. I'm really unhappy. Not happy via room. Not happy. He's mentioned it so many times. I'm gonna see if I can stop it. It's just so simple in the way some of these remarks. What the F are they doing? That's hilarious, to be honest. It reminds me of my old boss when I used to work in events. He's a good guy though, but he'd be the same. He's like, what the are you guys doing? Honestly, don't do that. It was, yeah, like, he just said it. He didn't give a shit. Because he knew we could take it, and he knew we didn't take offense to it. It was just all part of it. Let's go at that gold chart. That is gold. Name Trump dropping different types of bombs. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, bombs. He is entertaining, that's for sure. This one XK definitely gives 0 Fs, that's for sure. He just wants his point to come across and clearly, and everything to go his way, so he'll just say it bluntly without holding back. Alright guys, give me 1 minute. I'll be back very quickly. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty guys, under 9 minutes remain till session open. GJ looking like it wants to continue up. GJ. Alright, could there be an interruption entry on GJ moving forward? Oscar training view, yeah, for the chart, correct. That's the other thing still going on in the background. Obviously, you got Russia and Ukraine. It's also an interesting one, to be honest. A lot of it's about resources more than anything. Hermason, what correct lot size for 10k account? Look, it just depends what you're willing to risk per trade. And depends where you are, because here in Oz you'd be 1 to 30 struggling to open up more than about a 50-cent lot, to be honest. But generally speaking, about 1 lot would be okay for a 10k account. But again, it all depends on things like your stop loss placement. If you've got a big stop loss, then maybe 1 lot might be a little bit too much. You're risking 1%. So it all depends on your stop loss placement, to be honest, more than anything else. Gold is kind of calling up in the middle of this range right now. It's really lacking some steam at the minute. There's always the electricity in place. That's seems like we're flickering here. Mark, good. Britman, gold on for a buy. For me, we're right in the middle of this range. There's nothing in a minute. Amazing. Yes, correct. Not too wide of a stop loss. Okay. So it all depends, but I mean, stop loss you need to, again, you don't need to, but you do what you want to do. But for me, I need to have it based usually on a technical level, such as, you're going to say, what's that? It's technical level is a swing point. But for me, being a scalper, I'm happy to place it usually above or below a candle. But again, I'm more of a patient trader, so I'm not as impulsive. I'm waiting for confirmation. So a lot of time what you see is price, if you took the impulse entry, pull back to tag your stop loss out. Let's just say you're looking for a sell, closure of this candle, pulls back within it or whatever. If you're already in it, takes stop loss out. And then if you just wait for it to actually close, it's a high probability trade. Stop loss generally safe back above. Not that I'm looking for a sell just yet. But yeah, it all comes down to stop loss, how wide it is. Alright, so it looks like this candle is likely going to close bearish. As mentioned, a lot of the time what would happen off the back of a candle that closed with no upper wick. There is no entry at all at the minute. GJ. GJ may tap in still. It's the high GJ. 197.4846 on this candle. So you're looking at 906. The price needs to close above without tapping into the resistance here. You know, let's validate potential interruption play. Kind of feels funny when I trade GJ these days because I rarely trade it, to be honest. Stop loss would be below the bearish candle's low. Entry would be at the bearish candle's high. On a limit order. 197.842 on my broker chart. Still, it's not tapped in, so it's still got the potential for it to push further. So that will be based off the fact that we've had a impulse up, we've had a pause here, we've also had another pause here. We're engulfing that pause, we're engulfing it significantly, and that to me is an interruption, a little pause within price action. So if the new candle was to open up, pull back to tap into that point there, I could potentially look for a limit order buy. It cannot, and I stress, it cannot tap into target just here, otherwise it could be tap into so it has tapped into that level, that target. It could be a potential reversal point where if it did tap in, reject, it could end up well below that bearish candle's high. So the new candle can't pop up, really can't pop up at all, because it's going to break and tap into that resistance. All right, so it's left a little bit of a low upper wick. That's all right. Yeah, forget it. It's about to tap in. So nothing there on GJ, unfortunately. And nothing on gold as well. Gold is just stuck in the middle of this range. Absolutely nothing of quality on gold. GJ's tapped in. And it's valid on the 30 as well. The 30, the 15, even the 5, I've used it before. But it's no longer valid now because it's tapped into the target. So far, no, I would not be selling GJ. It's at a good level to begin to contemplate sells, but I wouldn't just sell it as it taps in, especially if seeing it's got a low wick already. Had a bit of a low wick, then create the upper wick. So if it pops straight up, then I would consider a very impulsive, risky sell option off the fact, and the probabilities of pulling back to create the lower wick, as we can see it doing now. But obviously it popped down first, then up. So no entry here on the GJ. So that is where the entry would have been. But anyway, it's not valid. Just want to see though what happens if it does pull back to it. If it did actually respect it and end up back at the resistance. Gold, we're just chilling. There is nothing at all I can do with gold at the minute. Charts are ugly at the moment. Sapphire, no, not for me. Bit of a liquidity grab here on gold. Still, there is no margin at all to sell it. Broken a high of the previous candle, now breaking a low of it. The back of that, there is a high probability that it could come back down to this support, but there is not even 10 pips in that, I don't think. It was roughly 10, but definitely not interested in that. Obviously USO, having a look here, it's retraced to pretty much where it was at before the news of the Iran and Israel conflict. Back around at $65 level. Sure, there'll be some people hurting in an oil buy who probably just bought it off the back of the news thinking it's just going to move. Probably holding on for dear life at the minute for me. And if it's not there technically, there is no entry irrespective of fundamentals. The only thing I would base the an entry, well, not, it's not even an entry, it's just a accumulation of a item. Be very careful what words I use. Is such as a precious metal, because that's for future keepings. Irrespective of the current price, I'm not concerned by it at all. Trading wise, different story. Timmy, thoughts on GJ? So I was contemplating a buy limit, but it's tapped into the resistance, so I can't do that now. It's tapped into target. So thoughts on GJ, need to let it now really just see how it reacts to the 4-hour resistance. We have a strong 30-minute candle closure and we start to pop below this 15-minute support. That's probably your likely entry point for a sell just now. Otherwise, we'll be waiting for the pullback, probably back towards that 187.550 for some potential buys. And otherwise, yeah, above the weekly high looks pretty good as well. Yeah. Offline. Yeah, so it's tapped into the level a few times and rejecting again. Tupelo, no, I don't trade US30. KJL, how long, many hours you trade in a day? Not that long, mate. Usually between 2 and maximum 3.5, 4. Less is more, to be honest. I trade a lot better during the London session. I like the Asian session, but I'm not often on the charts for it, so I like to do my own thing of a day. Wow, raining cats and dogs at the minute. And NY session is not my favorite, but I am on for a couple days a week with the members. But I always recommend have a plan, follow it. So whether that plan is to trade only 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day. If you want to break it up into a few sessions, that's okay. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't want it to be a full-time job, as in full-time hours. So usually I can find a decent entry, and if not, I'm happy to chill. It's all good. All right, so gold making that move, as I mentioned, that could make, but there was just no margin for me to look for that sell, because it could have easily bounced off this support just now. And plus the 30s, there is absolutely no entry on the 30 to me. It looks horrible. So next thing is to wait and see how price reacts to support now. Looks likely to tap back into it. So that's my opinion, Red Man. Apple users short gold at 3333. Nice one. Yeah, look at that now. It's just stuck in consolidation. It's shit house at the minute. Bruno, London 24 GU is going down. We had a look at GU before. All right, so it's broken through that support. Look at that. So a bit of volatility about. I'm not sure if there was maybe something released in the news. So for me, GU now it's making a move back down to the support. I want it to be a clean one just now, and potentially for a buy opportunity from the support. If it begins to pop below 136.10 roughly, then there's going to be some potential counter trend sells off the back of price rejecting this very strong level of resistance. That's what I would personally be waiting for on GU. Gold, on the other hand, is an utter mess at the minute. Tuan, 33.41. Maybe, who knows? I mean, it has to pop above 33.35 first. And I feel there's a good chance it could make the move up to that point. Bruno, you want it to go down? I think you mean trend. Yeah, I would also, if it were me, trade GU, just because level it's at a very strong resistance here on a higher time frame. So I would also prefer to look for sell options, but again, doesn't mean I can just sell off the back of my preference. I need to react to what I see, and for me, the best opportunity to get involved in sells is still below 136.10. Wow, gold is all over the shop at the minute. Where's that hail? That's hail. It's not snow. It's not snow. It's similar, but it's not snow. The missus is getting excited. She's never seen snow in her life. It's not snow. That's the typical, that's just the day it's been. On and off all day, raining, and now it's hailing. Wow, and it's pretty strong. Anyone in Melbourne at the minute? How shit is the weather? I can't even, honestly, I can't hear the music over the sound of the rain, the hail. Exquisite bowl slaw. Do we buy? If you like, you buy it. I don't have any reason to buy it. Don't know if you guys can hear the rain, the hail. Crazy, isn't it? Well, look at GJ. I've just seen my Metatray is actually tapped into that level. Alright, interesting. So I'm not in this, guys, but alright. Irrespective of it not being valid because it tapped into the resistance, just good to take note and see what would have happened. And it looks like it would have been a decent trade. Looks like it would have had very little drawdown upon being tagged in, and you'd definitely be about 7-8 pips in profit. Yeah, it looks like it would have been a nice entry. So a little interruption. Working wonders again. But no, I'm not in that, guys. Didn't set the order because it became invalid after tapping into target. Primo, thoughts on gold? No, it's hit and miss at the moment. Yeah, my thoughts on gold is just need to wait for it to now make the move down to 33.26. That sort of region of support, 33.27. There is no sells for me just now to that level because there is no margin. And see, I want to see how price reacts to it. I would prefer to look to buy it from that point because again, there is not that great deal of margin to the downside below it. May contemplate a sell below 33.24.50, but likely not going to have the margin down to the next level. So for me, the better sells come below 33.21 roughly. Got much cleaner and much wider, more margin at that point there below it. Otherwise, I'll just be looking for strong confirmation of support for some potential buys. That's what I'd be looking at. And still buys above the daily high. Henrix, this is gold. Gold trade. Gold needs to break 33.2750 for the bears that are shorts. Yeah, it's got all this support that it's about to tap into. Yeah, JJ would have given enough for some partials, so interesting. Let's go 33.25, then buy potentially. Yeah, if I had the right confirmation, but I wouldn't just buy it at that point. Or very unlikely I would. would consider something if the new 30. If this one closes around this level or even a little bit lower down, and new 30 just pops straight down without an upper wick. Very impulsive, but there is a good chance it would pull back up to create the upper wick. From that point, you'd be safely at break even, similar to what the 15 is doing now, but 15 is just not solid enough confirmation. Apple user just closed 80% of my position. Nice one. It's any material sell now. Not for me. No, definitely not for me. Bruno, no, I don't trade GU. To look at it, obviously, Renko does. Looks like shit at the minute, to be honest.
Yeah, there is nothing to trade on.
Yep. Just bouncing.
Need a closure. Yeah, as you marked your chart, so.
Yeah, it's just it. Ping-ponging between the resistance and support.
So maybe there will be some sales on EU, maybe.
EU?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's pending. So I'm not trusting on the M50.
No, I wouldn't as well.
30, and we need the closure below, and then we can look for sales.
Yeah. What would be really nice if this just breaks the high and then pops down, close this weak bear bullish.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't like this strong, just this wick.
Yeah, fair enough.
At the end. So, but okay, need to close below.
Yeah, irrespective. Needs to close below for anything. We use it close. Nice one. Bruno, you want 135.870. All right, what for a buy or? Aljo, again, no, there is no buy for me right now. For a sell? Alright. It's a fair way off. Sorry guys, let me zoom in. Alright, so 30, well obviously we're tapped in, we're closing, but it looks like a very strong bearish candle. Let's see how price reacts to this support though. Berman, if drop in you're looking for a buy, no, I need a confirmation. I don't have anything. Okay, JP, again, I don't have any confirmation of buy it. I don't just buy it at a level. I wait for a price action signal. I don't have one at all. So I need to wait for that if it does present. Yeah, I'm very strict, very rule-based, very disciplined trader. So I don't just buy it because the price taps into a support or taps into sell it when it taps into a resistance. I mean, it's very rare that I do that. I have one particular way of maybe reason to do that, but that is very rarely does that happen, to be honest. But for the most part, I'm waiting for candles to close, and right now, nothing yet to suggest to me already head back up. Candles are closing bearish. The level is a good level, but I still need some confirmation.
Justin, I have a question to how you mark the chart up on gold here.
Yep.
Because normally this would be if you go to the M30 time frame. So then I would mark my chart a little bit different. So I would not go down, correct?
You probably have it there.
With that. So my question is at the end, because you normally use for the M50 the green one. Do you think maybe it makes sense to put this in, maybe to see really that this is then an M50?
Yeah, you could, but
support.
Yeah, these days I don't bother. I just keep the 30 and 15 same color. To be honest. But yeah, I've added this level because it's cleaner below it, but there isn't a great deal of margin below that wick. I'm definitely not interested in selling into that. So 15 looking like we're trying to form some support here. At 30 looks absolutely terrible. Claire M. Alex, good morning. I am the same, waiting for a decent entry. Yeah, the minute it's just chopping about. 30 looks terrible. 15's looking a little bit better. It's tapped into support and bouncing. But you're just in consolidation here on the 30. There is no clear entry. At the minute, the more it sticks about this range and bouncing up and down, the more difficult it becomes to trade. And you really need to prioritize buys above, sells below. Sells below, on the other hand, you don't have a great deal of margin to next support, so it is much cleaner below 32.21. It's a bit choppy at the minute, a bit difficult. It happens sometimes. You just need to realize it and be patient. Once again, TikTok, thank you to the new followers. Appreciate it. Claire Alex was looking for buy about 34, but patience pays off. 33.40. Yeah, definitely patience is key. Just waiting for your plan to present, having a plan to begin with, and then just waiting. Show it time and time again. I mean, on the streams, a lot of time is spared taking a loss, sometimes a miss a move, but it's not my move because the rules have protected me, and I know a lot of time would have been a loss had I taken it. So sometimes you bend it slightly using a bit of intuition, and doesn't always mean it's a good thing to do though. But as I mentioned last week, that we are human, so you know, we're training for however many days it is a year. We're 250 plus or whatever. So you know, as a human, you got to make some mistakes. You can't be perfect the whole time. Sometimes you're going to give in to emotions and temptation, but if you can best avoid it as much as you can, then you'll be much better off for it. That's, for the most part, is what I do. I just patiently wait for my plan to present. He's here. Hello. You can bring him. That's Maggie. For sure, that's Maggie. Rain doesn't bark. I'll try to push through 33.27 again. That's 6 times today. Buyers were strong. Yeah, so that's why I said the level lower down. You mentioned 33.2750. To me, it's this whole support keeps tapping and bouncing, rejecting it. Nate Parker 33.42 want to see a reaction to come back short 42. All right, talking about some previous support here. Just over a minute remaining for this M30, for session open M30 candle. Not much going on. Just ping pong in between this level here, 33.33 and 33.27. GJ bit stagnant below the resistance, so nothing. Let's have a look at EU and GU quickly. EU respecting support. Could be a potential buy perhaps on EU. Got a bullish engulfing M15. You're closing the M30 back bullish after leaving a long lower wick. Could come up to fill this clean candle to the left. So EU not looking bad at all. Yeah, GU, forget it. It's me, EU looks the best at the minute. EJ, if it closes stronger, not looking bad as well for a buy. All right, gold's closed with no upper wick. Nice strong closure though. Nate Parker been in DAX long since yesterday, been sideways. Hopefully see some movement today. Something going on in the news. It's quite volatile at the moment. No.
So it's not bad that there's some volume in, but you need to be on the right side at the end.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Just up and down.
Yeah. So if you look on that strong candle here, so this is a very nice forward trade at the end here. So
Yeah.
you are thinking maybe this going up further.
Gonna push through.
Yeah, and now we see what gold is doing, so the opposite.
Yeah, it's very risky either way at the minute. To notice popped up without a low wick, but it's just way too risky. Pop down and pop back up again.
Yeah.
Just need to patiently wait for closures here. Sapphire, GJ, you?
Sorry.
No, go mate. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, it would not surprise me if we would go down completely again. So
Yeah, back to support.
yeah,
The way it's going. Yep.
let's see.
GJ, same as before. Not buying it into the flyer resistance, to me it just makes no sense. To do so, for me, still the best entry point is probably going to be really below 197.550 or sell. Otherwise, buys upon the pullback, and then maybe consider sell a little bit higher up below 197.70. It's not done anything since basically session open. It's been stuck. It's below flyer resistance, so my view has not changed on GJ. Wow, look at that gold. Man, SLB. Right now, nothing. Line V. Yeah, it is gold. Has to happen soon because I got it going about 10 minutes prior to this hourly closure.
You'll be on for NY session?
Yeah, I'll be on a bit later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a meeting shortly, so. Moonboy 1, what's been taking your soil? It's a difficult one to judge at a minute because of conflict and that. Weekly's obviously forming very strong bearish. It is engulfing the previous bullish candle, equity candle as well. Daily, upper wick and previous daily. It's at support here on the daily, which lines up previous resistance. So potential point of, you know, where it could bounce. Structurally, it is bullish as well on the daily, so you do have that on your side. But again, a very strong past few days to bearish momentum. FYI is bearish in structure, but it's also at support. It's a pretty strong level. There's also some resistance not that too far ahead. The M30 could soon flip back bullish. To be honest, my take would be it's just trickling. There is no momentum, no volume. I'd wait and see if it pops up to 66.50, and if it rejects, I'd be looking for a sell. Yep, sells below the current weekly candle's low upon continuation. Is the support formed at that level? If we were to now start to trend bullish, we have no need to pop back down, break the support formed at the current weekly low, and buys start to look a bit cleaner above 67, roughly 66.94. Disco Jami. Delta flow shows 33.70 on 15 and plus times. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about, but all good. All right, looking like we are essentially going to continue pushing to the upside here. Let's see. We can get a closure above. Bradley Smith, byte 3327, looking good. Yeah, you are looking good, mate. Well done. So it's all going to come down to this 15-minute closure here. At 3 TPs. I think, yeah, obviously mean 3,000, not 2. 3,330, 3,332, 34. Got 2. Oh, nice one. And 45's your next target. Nice one. Well done, mate. At least you've got a plan and you're securing some profits on the way up. Stop loss break even, that's it. That's good. Good to hear. You got a plan. Oh, sniper, nice candle. Oh, mate, it's crazy. Is this gold sniper all Porsche? Is that using your other account? Are you? Display key stops break even's best feeling. Yeah, it is a good feeling. Because normally when stops break even means you've secured some profit, or very, very, very close to securing profit. Rarely do I have a break even trade these days, to be honest. I've not had many this year. I think it's like 6 or 7. Used to have a lot more in the past. Raymond Nielsen 399, buy from 3317. Nice one. Fun Tiki, what's your blue zone above the highs? So the blue zone is a zone of resistance here. It's the current daily candle's high. It's a 30-minute resistance. So I attach it to the highest point of any bearish candle at the resistance, and then to the closest body. It's not always the same candle. A lot of the time it will be, but not every time. So for instance here, I've got the 15-minute level. The downside, it's the start of my support zone. That's the lowest part of that area of support. I know we've got a little bit more to the downside just below it, but I'd be concerned by that when price begins to move towards that level. Still could potentially look for sales below it though. 33, 20, 24 roughly. That's you. Nice one. Next key, we are at a strong 4-hour level. If you're talking about sort of left, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, there's a bit of room for it to tap into. I'm not so concerned by it though. And this 4-hour looks great. If this 4-hour, I mean, the higher up in the time frame, the less data, so it's not as messy. There's less candles printed. What we can see is if the 4-hour closes bullish engulfing, if you're a trade just based off the back of the 4-hour, you have a pretty solid entry, but you have to wait over 2 hours for that. In the meantime, it may make the move without you. But it all relates. I've coached and mentored some who have chosen to trade more off the higher time frame because they don't have as much time to be on the charts to check it as often. But I can definitely manage to check the chart every, few hours. Shahid Abrahams. Don't like it when gold moves like this. No clear confirmation for it. Yeah, there is absolutely nothing clear at all at the minute. It's just ping-ponging between the support and resistance. So as a trader, we just need to be wary of that and understand sometimes the market's going to do this. Know when it's probably the best, or when it's best to probably stay out. In this situation, in my opinion, it is better to stay out than look for an entry. I mean, there won't be any entries to come, but right now I don't see anything quality setting up. To me and Chloe, market's looking ready to go parabolic soon. I mean, all it's going to take is something to come out of the Middle East. Well, who knows? I mean, something could come out of somewhere else that while people are sleeping and not concentrating. For instance, it could have come out of Russia or Ukraine. Come out of China, could have come out of anywhere, to be honest.
Or maybe Russia against NATO.
Yeah. I've got an opinion of that, to be honest, but it's probably not the best time to go into it.
You mean Russia and NATO?
Just the whole conflict, because I don't understand. Russia is full of resources. I think that that's the reason why they're using Ukraine, NATO. They're using Ukraine as the guinea pig. Oh shit, gold could close above here. To get to Russia's resources, and Russia's defending themselves, obviously. There's a lot to it that people don't realize. All right, shit, gold could give an entry here, guys. If it closes like this, but you need a lower wick, and it needs to be a decent one. Oh man, how's that for throwing a spanner in the works? It needs to leave an upper wick. So you're looking at entry a couple pips above. It needs to create a lower wick. What is the high? 33, 3603, 33, 36, 23.
The high of the actual candle?
Yep. So it closed above. I've got to get going very quickly though, guys. But you've got the closure above. I like how it spent the best part of the candle rejecting and only to gather steam towards the end and close above. So 23 as a potential entry point. A couple pips above the high of the previous candle. All right, so I'm actually in. All right, it's moving. All right, I'm going to break even because I have to get off the stream, guys. All right. Come on. Yeah, it's gonna take me out. All right, all good. That was a quick one. So my stop loss was at break even. My stop loss was originally below 15. So 23. So I had about 9.5 pips on the table, but all good.
Yeah, I took this 9.6 pips.
All right, nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right, so initially my stop loss just below. It was a quick one, guys. It caught me off guard because it pulled up right towards the end of it to close back bullish. So it's a break even for me. But yeah, moving forward on gold, now it needs to start closing above. I mean, if you're still in this trade, okay, I understand. Be careful because you still got the 30-minute open. We're still coming from basically consolidation. So if it breaks its own low again, I definitely won't want to beat it anymore because then it's likely just grab liquidity from the upside. So that's the case when we begin to pop below. I mean, you could look for some potential options to sell it, seeing it's made a clean move up. It's going to be tricky. You need to wait for at least a little bit of support now on the 15. If price begins to pop below the support, you could have a potential option. It's all good. Just a quick break even there. I had almost enough to start securing, but not quite. Got a bit crack. Yeah, so that's what I'd be looking at on gold. Also, like I mentioned before, if you're trading off the higher time frames, the 4-hour, wait for the 4-hour closure looks really good. GJ, forget it, it's just a mess. Still the same plans for me on GJ. I'd be waiting for it to pull back and perhaps start to pop below 197.770, the first potential entry point to the downside if it does close below, rejecting its 4-hour resistance. But in my opinion, it's much better to wait for it to pop below 197.550 and otherwise look for buys if it does pull back to that point. And that is a wrap. Yeah, so that's it, guys. We gave it a crack, almost got the chocolates, break even on that one. So nothing lost, which is good. But yeah, guys, I'll be on tomorrow, as it's about the same time as today. Look forward to that. My members, I'll keep you guys posted. I will be on later on with you guys as well. So take care, have a good one. Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.